We're sitting here with Tendy Sherpa, the #1 Sherpa of planet Earth, superhero. Tendy, how many times have you been at Mount Everest?
Yeah, I submitted Everest 10 times up to now, and I'm doing this every year. And this is one of my major profession. You know, my profession is just about climbing and being on a mountain, enjoy the mountain, meet new friends. You know, so I summited Everest 10 times, and I summited Manaslu recently, like just last year, which is also 8,000-meter mountain, and it's known as not very easy mountain, you know, the Manaslu. And then I summited Hamadallam, Choyu in Tibet. I summited a couple of mountains in Europe, in Switzerland. I summited 5 times the highest mountain in the Andes, or in the whole America. That is called Mount Aconcagua, with a normal route and technical route. So I made in total 5 summits. So now, beside that, I have summited so many mountains back in Nepal, ranging 6,000 meters. So I have listed in my website, tendyguide.com is my personal website, so I have put all the detailed numbers of my summit. And now, when I look at that, the total numbers of my summit, in total I have submitted 51 summits until now. Yeah. But it took me a long time to do these 51 summits of the mountain, because I had to start to do this from when I was just 13 years old. When I was just 13 years old, I started carrying, you know, a load as a porter, carrying like 42 kg of loads on the mountain for like 24 days. And
I remember a story about you as a little boy.
Yes.
Working with no shoes in the ice and snow.
Exactly. That was when I first started working as a porter in the mountain in my life. I was only 13 years old when I did that. So I actually even didn't know that I was going to do a trekking. I was going to do I was going to get such a high mountain. I was very, very much interested in and wanted to be with the tourists and go to the trekking. Doesn't matter where, and doesn't matter what I have to carry. And so I got an opportunity as a porter. I was only 13, and they give me a big load. Usually the porter, they used to carry that much load, which is quite normal. But for my age of like 13 years old, 42 kg was pretty big.
How much did you weigh?
I don't know exactly how much I used to weigh, but I'm pretty sure I should weigh less than what I was carrying.
The load weighed more than you?
Exactly,
oh.
Yes. So I didn't even know where we are going to go, and what elevation we're going to arrive, how we should be prepared. I have no idea. The only thing that I was very happy about that trip was because it is my first experience in my life, and I'm going to see the tourist. I said, wow, I'm going to see the tourists. I want to see the tourists, you know. I'm like, oh. Like, okay, I went to the tunnel for the first time in my life, and I saw like a bunch of tourists there, like a lot of tourists moving everywhere. And I was like, oh, maybe he's my client. Maybe he's my client. You know, like I was always excited, you know. So finally, I joined this trip. I started trekking, and the trekking was for 24 days. And during the 24 days, I had to carry like 12 hours or 13 hours every day. And the load was very big, but as I was used to in the village, you know, I used to carry like a lot of loads, and I used to work pretty hard when I was in the village. I was quite used to it. So first few days went very, very well. You know, it was very tiring, and the load was big. But I still was fine. But every day I was feeling more and more tired, because now I understand why I had that feeling, because I was gaining the elevation every day. And usually when you're going to the altitude with this big load, and I wasn't drinking enough, and you know, because of that, I was like having like cramp and joint pain and things like that. You know, my necks were painful. I used to carry this big load with the head straps. So I was tired, feeling more and more tired, but I said, well, maybe this is normal. When I want to do trekking, maybe this is normal. I should just forget it. So I just ignore my feeling of tiredness. I just continue. I just force my mental, say, Tandy, you have to go. You have to just go and go and go. And I just had a sandal actually. When I started trekking, I just carried sandal because it's cheap and it's like when I'm in the village, I never use sandal or shoes, anything. So I just walk without anything. But for that trek, I decided to at least buy a sandal, and I use a sandal. And after a couple of days of long trekking, we got at the base of the mountain. And usually the next day we have to go over a big high passes to get in the other side of the mountain. And suddenly my clients, tourists, they come near me and ask me if, you know, he was very wondering that if I have shoes or not.
Right.
He said, hey Tandy, I never saw you wearing shoes for many days, and you're
in the snow and ice.
Yeah, you are every day with the sandal, and tomorrow you're gonna go to the mountain. Do you have shoes? And I said, because there was another guy who was translating me. I said, no, I don't have shoes, but maybe I can do it without shoes. He said, no way you can do without shoes, Tandy. It's not possible. You need to get shoes. Because I was porter and we have a guide, and he actually is the guide who should take the responsibility of everything. And I was like kind of worried, but then I said, no, but actually I'm used to the snow. I used to play on the snow when I was a kid. Then, well, I said, okay, I'll try that way. But my client said, no, Tandy, you should wear shoes. I will give you my shoes. And his shoes was like, you know, big like this. And my feet was like this. And I put a lot of papers and extra socks around just to, you know, fit it well. I put everything, but it didn't work. And as I climb up, you know, because of the heat, my feet got wet. So the feet was sliding inside the shoes, and shoes is here, but my feet slides inside. And it didn't work at all. It was like very much bothering, and I said, no, I don't want to use shoes. My clients, my guides, they're all ahead of us, and I was just carrying this big load over the mountain. We have to cross the 5,460 meter elevation, because there is a pretty high mountain. So we climbed with that shoes, and it didn't last for a long time. So I just ended up using that in a moment. And after that, I decided to walk with my sandal. My sandal that I was using. And the sandal, as I used sandal and as I was climbing, the very small scree, the rocks that comes inside the sandal, between sandal and my feet, and that was like very, very painful. And I said, okay, the sandal is not working either. So I took the sandal off, and I was without sandal and shoes now. There's glaciers, ice, snow. I say, okay, I will maybe better walk like this. I measure a distance. I said, I will walk up to that, and I will check my feet. I run on the mountain with the shoes here and the sandal here. I run on the mountain. I stop, and I check my feet. It's like freezing cold. And I warm up everything again. I warm up, like, you know, I just massage my feet. And again, when I feel like, okay, maybe I'm pretty much ready, and I again run and stop, run, stop, and run with this big load. That was the first time that I was on the mountain, and I got a lot of experience. And it was a very, very big school. So after that, I worked on the mountain many, I mean, up to now, I have been working every year, and from like a few years, I have become a guide, and I'm always, when I prepare for mountain, when I prepare for trekking, I immediately remember what happened to me. And then I immediately remember what I should do now. And that is, you know, like that is a very, very important for the guide to strongly and carefully prepare what he needs, what his client needs, and what his porter needs. So these things are very, very important. And this is what I learned directly by myself from that trip.
Good.
And but after that, like I submitted up to now, I successfully submitted like 51 summits of mountain, and I'm very, very happy because 51 summits is not just a summit for me. The 51 summit brought a lot of good relationship with many people around the world, and we have a wonderful relationship, friends relationship, like a family. And one of the most memorable and great souvenirs is the friends that we stood together on the summit. So, and I'm continuing to climb every year like that. And again, I'm going to go back to Everest in a couple of days from the north side, that is the Tibetan side of the Everest, and it's a bit more easier than the Nepali side in terms of the avalanches and rockfall and this thing, but it is still difficult, and it still is not easy, and it is dangerous. So, but I'm pretty much ready for it, and very well prepared, and very excited to go there with my new clients.
Good.
And share my experience and climb the mountain together. So I'm very happy.
Good. So you went from that boy,
Yes.
the 13-year-old boy with no shoes,
Yes.
to now the #1 Everest guide, or very close to you. You're trying to catch Appa's record eventually someday, maybe.
I don't know if I will really try to set up a record, but since I'm a mountain guide now,
Yeah.
my whole focus is on the safety.
Yes.
And on the clients.
Yes.
So what I'm all the time thinking is, I'm not thinking how many times more I can summit the Everest,
Right.
but I'm thinking how to provide the more safety to the clients.
Good. That's
In
good
which
thinking.
way, how to
That's
do
good
it,
thinking.
and yes.
So with that good thinking, you have your own NGO,
Yes.
and you built a bridge.
Yes, I
Tell us about your bridge that you
Yes,
built.
I actually did a lot of things. I'm very happy to say that I did pretty much a lot of things for my village, because I'm actually academically I'm not educated too, because I had to leave my village when I was quite small, because we don't have a school very close by our house. So my biggest focus after I was able to climb Everest for a couple of years was to look back to my village. I was always wanted to do something in my village. I was thinking what I can do, what I can give to my village. In the beginning, I was always going to my village, and I used to share my stories to the young people over there, to the old people, all the people in the village, especially to the young people, those who are, who are always thinking to go to trekking in mountain, when even if they are very young. And I used to tell them my story. I say, guys, I did the same thing. That time my situation was different, but now I'm here, and I will support you guys. You have to go to school, you have to get education. Education is the most important part. I haven't got education, but that's why I had to travel a long way. And now I got in this stage, and I learned something, practical education,
Yes.
and I like to share this. And in my practical education and my experience, academical education is so much important. So I requested them to continue their education at school. And at the same time, I was also able to help some of the family in the beginning, one by one, two, three. So we created an association that is called Nepal Ko Saathi, which means Friends of Nepal. But if you type Friends of Nepal in website, then you get in another association. But Nepal Ko Saathi, or Ami de Nepal, it means this association is founded between me, my father, and one of our friends, Swiss, with whom we worked for many years in Nepal. So for our memories, we created an association to help my village. And now we're helping 23 children. We're providing scholarship every year for the 23 children. And we have also provided the solar panels for the houses We have provided ovens, you know, the big ovens, which is very, very good for the health and everything. We provided 25 big ovens. We made it in Patan, in Kathmandu, and we transferred everything to my village. And after that, we also built a bridge last year. Just last year, I completed one of the first suspension bridge in my village. So we requested many times with the Nepal government to support us with the bridge, because during the monsoon, this river gets very bad, very big, and was not easy. Since we are like just a few people in the village, sometimes it used to be so hard for crossing these rivers. And but we have to cross river because we have to get the food, and we have to go up and down, go to the medical or town, everything. So this and we used to make like a temporary bridge of the wooden, but that goes immediately after we finish crossing. There's no more bridge because it's gone with the river. And so it was like the bridge was one of the most important thing there. But I was able to bring this, you know, this bridge project last year, and we were able to complete the complete bridge, suspension bridge. And it seems very strange to have that aluminum suspension bridge in that remote area. I was like, no, maybe it's a dream. I was dreaming like that for many years. Maybe it's just a dream, not reality.
You did.
And, but I'm very happy because I was able to fulfill my dream of building a bridge in the village. And now I live most of the time in the mountain because I live very little time at home. And but mostly, as my profession is mountain guide, I'm mostly in the mountain around the world. But still, I'm very happy because people in the village, they have less risks of the, you know, accidents in the river. So now they can happily cross the river with the bridge and everything. So I think we did quite a lot of things, a lot of projects in the village, and they became all very successful. And I'm very happy with that.
Good. So, what countries have you climbed in? What mountain in different countries?
Yes.
Argentina?
I've been Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, France, Switzerland. Of course, in the United States, I've climbed Mount Rainier. It was a very beautiful mountain, and I climbed from Tibet side of the Everest, Nepal side, many summits in Nepal.
Yes.
And what else? I think that's it.
That's a great list. Right?
Yes.
And to top it all off, you are happily married, and you've got your young girl,
yes.
your daughter.
I'm very happy to be a husband and a father, and that is absolutely a great experience, and feel very proud to be a father and husband. Feel like I'm more mature.
Yes.
And feel like I have to be careful. Feel like I have to not just take care of me, but I have now so many things behind me or in front of me that I have to be careful with. So
you're doing great.
Yes.
Great work. Great work. Tendi Sherpa, the great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tendi.
That's good. See,